So WWE isn't a sport, and it's also I don't think it should be really considered a Super Bowl or tourist event. I think, I've talked about before about how expensive kind of everything's getting with the product, and it's always kind of been an enthusiast hobby in terms of collecting and stuff like that. But to kind of price out the common person who might want to check out wrestling or see it as an event that's not as expensive as a concert to their favorite artist, with the ESPN move, I think the US distribution of wrestling has become so flawed, and I understand that the way that the company makes money really means that a lot of like TV ratings and like literal ratings don't seem to matter. It's crazy that a VPN and Netflix is the way to watch wrestling in the US. And like the accessibility of that is a lot easier than it has been, right? Obviously, with a lot of VPN options and stuff. But the idea that, people in the US were going to now like start paying the exuberant prices they were paying pre WWE Network for everything again is kind of insane. I think they bet on a lot of the crossover of sports fans and WWE fans, but I don't think that crossover is as big as like WWE fans to like nerd culture and stuff like that. So they don't probably have ESPN, because they're like, what's sports ball? I don't really understand this WWE integration into the UFC product and the TKO product, like TKO stuff. I think they really should have kept that banner separate, because WWE isn't a live sporting event. It's like live theater performance. It's like traveling Broadway. It's not some sort of marketable Super Bowl with like a lot of celebrity appearances and booking it like it's like a traveling NBA type of thing, because it's really not in terms of how it's presented and stuff. So when we see that disconnect in terms of like, look at the guest celebrities and look at all this and the ads, it does start to weigh down on the people who are fans of the product, because it starts to seem not as genuine. We start seeing the obvious pushes to shove products in our faces, the crazier ticket prices, for us to see VIP packages for people like that are like, am I ever going to be able to go to a Mania reasonably for a reasonable price? No. This is now like a Disney World level thing, more expensive probably now, actually, if we did the math, to go to a Mania and get a decent seat, with your family. I don't think the essence of wrestling ever was it. I think the essence of wrestling was in its accessibility, in the mud shows, in indie wrestling, in the idea that it traveled around, and when it got to your city, it was at that Coliseum that you got to pay like your couple, 10, 20, whatever cheap nosebleed, tickets, and you got to enjoy wrestling with the other people around you. Maybe you saved a slight amount and you got a real nice front row seat for a couple hundred, you know what I mean? But now it's like, to get in the building, you need a couple hundred to even experience the WWE. It's not like we're getting a WrestleMania 40 every week, right? So where is the real justification in saying that these prices make sense, and that that WWE should be more corporate, that we should be doing this Saudi Arabia Rumble and all this stuff? Like, it doesn't give fans who've been watching the product any confidence in the essence of wrestling more, that WWE is going to change, and that even the people that are in charge now may not be the ones running it in a couple of years, despite the legacy of wrestling, despite them having ties to the whole industry itself might not, at least in WWE, the industry in terms of WWE and that lane might cease to exist in a lot of ways, because of how the corporatism and stuff like that might completely kind of take over WWE and sanitize its product and completely kind of change the essence of it. We'll see though. I mean, that's me being doom and gloom, but like all the things kind of point to that. So let me know what you guys kind of think in the comments. It's kind of a ranty one, but man, I think WWE in 2026 does kind of have a lot to redeem itself in, and not in terms of just in-ring product, but really more its optics and its long-term vision for what wrestling is to them.